Hey guys, I'm Meteorologist Chris Tomer. Let's talk some mountain weather, and everything's still on track. Looking at two different low pressure systems now. The first would be the 1022 to 1024 time frame, so this weekend, and then the next one would be 1026 to 1028 across the Intermountain West. It's possible there's a third. There's some disagreement on that, but it's possible there may be a third. And the beneficiaries would be Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Pacific Northwest, BC, and Banff for probably both of these, but certainly for the first. And strong wind is likely here this weekend. And as a result of the jet stream just buckling and bringing all this in and then lifting up a lot of this moisture. Let me just show you this. This is a photo sent in, Dustin Schaefer up at Loveland Ski Area today. This is what we've been seeing here in Colorado for like the last 7-8 days. Blue skies and dry conditions, and the snow you see right there coming off Chet Stream down Spillway is actually, that's all man-made. But of course, Loveland, A Basin, Keystone, Copper, all of these resorts, Winter Park, that have started making snow know that there is great conditions coming this weekend and the next week. Colder temperatures, natural snow, of course, is going to fall. So that's going to look a lot different. All those mountains in the background will be covered after this weekend. Let me show you the current situation. So this is radar, and this is just satellite. This is visible satellite. Really beautiful features on this. Let me just mark them. We've had this the last few days. Some really distinct features. And there's your low, big low there. Another big low up here around Alaska. There's your cutoff low. If you were to mark all this with the jet or the storm track, it looks something like this coming up and around. This is a little low that's cut off. It's got its own sort of setup with the southern branch. And let me mark the high. So the high is still sitting somewhere right in here, taking up a lot of territory across the west. And this setup with the high and the low, they were actually stacked right on top of each other. That's a Rex block. That's the reason why it was just so dry and hard to penetrate this ridge for so long. Well, these two lows are going to do it this week and then next week. So you've got two lows. If there was a third, it's way off the perspective here, but it's possible. I'll show you that coming up in the actual forecast. But let me take you to my blog this morning. I wrote mountain snow this weekend. It's got a few comments. I'll look at those. If you haven't subscribed to this, christomer.com, I would really appreciate it. And there should be just a little button at the bottom that says subscribe to blog. So I talked about, the bullet points with this, the setup. And then I looked at wind gusts from the Grand Teton, Quandary here in Colorado, and the Crestone Needle. And notice in the southern mountains of Colorado, the windiest days are Saturday, Sunday. Whereas Quandary, it's pretty consistent all the way through 45 to 50. Up in Wyoming, it comes a little earlier. I did 1021 up there. So it's there on Friday, windy Saturday, and then it backs off a little bit. So as far as the forecast, I've got these loaded in. Here's what I'm looking at here on my future radar and satellite. This is Saturday, 1022 at 9 p.m. Notice the snow moving in, to, and through Utah, the Tetons, up into Idaho, Big Sky, most of Montana. That's Saturday at 9. All of that is moving to the east with a powerful jet stream. And here's what it looks like by Sunday morning at 6. Heavy snow across the Wasatch, the high Uinta, still snowing in the Tetons, good wraparound through Montana and Idaho, and snowing in Colorado, and it becomes more intense above 7,000 or 8,000 feet pretty much all day in Colorado. Here is Sunday, 10:23 at 9:15 p.m. So snow wrapping down through Colorado, leftover snow in the Tetons and the Wasatch coming to an end there, and eventually this moves out. But notice up in the Pacific Northwest, that's storm number 2 that will drop down between the 26th and the 28th. Let me just show you what the perspective is from the GFS model. So here is the first low right there. There's 23, 24, and then it transitioned out. What I'm looking at here are the blues, the greens. Those are the low atmospheric pressure anomalies, the lower. So that's what I'm looking for. The reds and the oranges would be highs, high type situations. Here comes the second low. Look at that, cruising in. This one's a little further south. It's possible this one has more of a benefit on California. So in tomorrow's update, I'll run snow totals for California through 26th through the 28th, so you can kind of see how that may be a possibility. It could be that California is a beneficiary out of that, because it's definitely kind of digs a little further to the west and southwest. But there's the morning of the 28th, and then it kind of fades out. The GFS rebuilds higher pressure anomalies. You can see that along the west coast immediately after the second low, and that's about it. It doesn't really include a significant third low. Just an interesting perspective. Let me take you back and I'll show you what my forecast totals are. The 20th through the 24th. So this is just the first low. Great numbers up in the Wasatch. In Colorado, west of the Continental Divide, 6 to 12 or more. I've got Silverton way up there, almost 2 feet. Numbers have gone down slightly for the Tetons, but I have a feeling those will probably rebound in tomorrow's update. And again, this only goes to the 24th, so I'm not capturing what may happen in California with the second low. And you can see the other numbers looking pretty good through Big Sky, Bridger Bowl, and Discovery. All right, well, there's the update for today. It'll be interesting to see how everything looks tomorrow when I can take into account the first low and the second low. I'll probably do 2 different images, 2 different snow forecast maps for that. Always appreciate you tuning in here. Take care.